All right, today we're going to deconstruct a document that is so much more than a resume. Think of it as a detailed blueprint, one that maps out the entire professional life of an academic. Every lecture, every discovery, every single project. It's basically a whole career, right there on paper. But how do you even do that, right? How do you take years, maybe even a decade, of really complex work and squeeze it into a single, coherent document? It's a huge challenge, trying to capture a living, breathing career. So where would you even start? Well, you start with a blueprint. And in the academic world, that blueprint is called a curriculum vitae, or CV for short. It's this structured, super comprehensive record that goes way, way beyond a typical resume to tell the full story. And for this explainer, we've got the perfect blueprint to look at, the CV of Dr. Kartikeya Bowler. He's an associate professor at the TA Pi Management Institute. We're going to use his career as a case study to really get what it means to be an academic today. So here's our game plan. We're going to break it all down by looking at three core pillars of an academic career: the educator, the researcher, and the builder. And then we'll see how it all comes together to make a real-world impact. Let's dive right into pillar one, the educator. Now, this is the role that most of us are familiar with, right? But as you're about to see, it stretches far, far beyond the walls of a classroom. You know, an academic doesn't just teach one kind of student. Dr. Bowler's CV shows he's teaching MBA students and PhD candidates, but he's also training corporate executives from huge companies like Union Bank and Genpact. On top of that, he's guest lecturing at other major universities. The big thing to get here is that a great educator has to be a chameleon, able to adapt for totally different audiences. And this slide? This really drives home the quality of that teaching. These aren't just any old numbers, they're feedback scores from students, and look at that consistency. We're talking scores between 9.0 and 9.5 out of 10 for some seriously tough subjects, like predictive analytics. This data tells a story of someone who is just knocking it out of the park year after year. Okay, next up is pillar two, the researcher. This is all about creating brand new knowledge, pushing the boundaries of what we know, and then sharing those big discoveries with the rest of the world. We're going to start with just a number, 11. This is Dr. Bowler's H-index on Google Scholar. But what does that even mean? Well, let me tell you, it's one of the most important numbers in the whole academic world. Simply put, the H-index measures both how much you write and how much impact it has. So, an H-index of 11 means that Dr. Bowler has published 11 papers that have each been cited by other researchers at least 11 times. It's this one little number that packs a huge punch, telling you how influential a researcher is. What's really fascinating here is the sheer variety of the research. It's not just one thing. You see this mix of high-impact journal articles, which are super academic, but also practical case studies for teaching, book chapters, and even articles for a wider audience. This shows a real commitment to not just advancing a field, but making that knowledge useful and accessible to everyone. And if we dig a little deeper, you can see a laser focus on quality. See those rankings like ABDC-A or Scopus Q1? That's basically the academic equivalent of an A+ rating. It means the research is top tier, has been intensely vetted, and is considered a really big contribution. And look at the topics, super modern stuff like metaverse branding and fitness apps. All right, let's move to our third and final pillar, and this is the one that's often invisible to the outside world, the builder. This is all about the work that actually shapes the university itself. Academics really have to lead on multiple fronts. So inside his own university, Dr. Bowler has had these crucial roles, like chairperson of examinations. But his influence goes outside, too, serving on boards for other universities, training other faculty members. This shows a commitment to building up not just your own home, but the entire neighborhood, you know? But being a builder isn't just about managing things. It's about creating them from scratch. We're talking about founding a student analytics forum, guiding the next generation of researchers as a PhD supervisor, and even designing an entire curriculum from the ground up. These are the things that build a lasting legacy. So, we have these three pillars: educator, researcher, and builder. But they don't just exist in their own little bubbles. No, the real magic happens when they all connect and create an impact out in the real world. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here, we've got a research project that isn't just going to sit in a dusty journal somewhere. It's a community action project focused on something as important as sustainable menstruation practices. This is where academic skills get applied directly to solve a real, pressing social issue. And that impact is also happening in brand new ways. I mean, in the past, this kind of expert knowledge might have been locked away in an expensive textbook. But today, as you can see from this LinkedIn post, academics are sharing their expertise directly with anyone who wants to learn, making complex stuff accessible to all of us. And the scale is just mind-blowing. Get this, a single post sharing a free guide reached over 20,000 people. Let that sink in. 20,740 to be exact. That's more people than you could fit into dozens and dozens of lecture halls. This is what scholarship looks like in the digital age. So, what does it take to pull all of this off? This slide kind of shows you the modern academics toolkit. You absolutely need the technical skills for teaching and research, things like Python and RStudio. But just as important are modern communication skills, using platforms like LinkedIn, and even understanding new AI tools to stay right on the cutting edge. Which brings us right back to our original question. After breaking down this CV and seeing all the different pieces, what is this blueprint of a modern academic really telling us?
It's telling us that it's not some static checklist of accomplishments. It's the story of a dynamic professional who is an educator, a researcher, and an institution builder, all at the same time. It's a blueprint for a career that's not just about discovering knowledge, but about creating it, shaping it, and sharing it with as many people as possible.